Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, ISLW webinar number 29 on the Virtual Open Marketplace with the focus on fashion industry. I welcome the speakers and participants and my colleagues, the team members. As you are aware, ISLW webinars, 28 numbers have been completed so far. We had a long break in between, and this has helped us to saturate our plans and activities in this new normal situation. So now we are back with the webinar series. And in all these webinars, there were about 2,588 participants. And each one of us spent about 1 hour, 30 minutes per participants per webinar. So on the left, what you see is the list of such webinars, and the details can be accessible in the iSquare website. The presentations, a brief write-up are available in the website. So one can refer to that. It was also published last year. There was a manual on safety measures in tannery operations post-COVID situation. So now there are some few instructions for the participants. We need to value the speaker, his time, the time and the time of other participants. Participants are advised to raise questions relevant to the topic only and avoid irrelevant debate. And you can leave your comments about the webinar at the end of the meeting in our website or by email for continuous improvement. And as I mentioned, the details can be accessible in the ISLW website. So if you have a question during the question and answer session, you can raise your hand in the icon provided in the panel, in the control panel in the Zoom platform. The moderator will invite one by one, and I will be the moderating, and I will invite one by one. You can raise your comment or question. So I now invite Dr. Swarna to introduce the participants. Dr. Swarna, please.
Next year.
Yeah, good evening, speakers, the ISLW team, and these participants. Let me now start the introduction of course, we have 3 speakers today. So let me start with Sridharan Ganapathi. He is a graduate in engineering and has more than 3 decades of overall experience in leather and footwear industry. He has he had an opportunity to work with companies like Eco Shoes, which is one of the very famous company, and the Farida Group, and also and the he has been in the technical. He has been the technical and operations head. He has been in Denmark for a long part of his work life with ICO as a technical manager, and then deputy to the vice president technical. On return to India, he is now a freelance advisor to several European and American brands in their projects related to footwear and leather sourcing. And Mr. Sridhar is quite popular in the industry, and as a non-compromising person, rather quite a rigid person, and has been successful in developing several organizations and people in the Indian footwear industry. We also have with us Mr. Damodaran Narayanaswamy. He holds a bachelor's degree, the BTech Leather Technology from the AC College of Technology, Anna University. He is also a graduate in law. He has an experience of more than 3 decades in the leather and footwear industry. He has served in various capacities in several large leather corporations such as the Farida Group and the likes. He had the opportunity to work with the various European and American leather and shoe brands in their development and sourcing activities. And Mr. Damodaran is currently involved in sourcing and developing leathers for several Indian and uh, other countries, and especially the European brands and factories as a freelancer. Mr. Damodaran is a natural troubleshooter and problem solver. So he makes both ends meet together. And we also have with us Mr. Jameel Azeez. He is a diploma holder in footwear technology and has more than 2 decades of hands-on experience in footwear design, development, sourcing, and quality management and merchandising. And he has worked alongside several industry leaders in technology during his tenure as a senior technical manager in companies like the Farida Group, Rockport USA, and the likes. He's a passionate technician and a versatile marketing person. And Mr. Jamal is the go-getter. So with these few words of all the three speakers, I think we can start the session. Over to Mr. Vishwanathan.
Thank you, Dr. Sorna. I now invite Mr. Damodaran to provide his initial remarks and then continue the talks today. Mr.
Thank you,
Damodaran.
Dr. Sorna, for your nice words and nice introduction. Good evening, members of Alpha, special invitees, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be speaking to you today on behalf of the DaJaS Associates. I hope that you feel as excited as I am to be part of this great moment. I would like to draw your attention to a few minutes to share with you our experience and knowledge about the virtual marketplace movement and its relevance today. But before that, let me take a few words to let you know about DaJaS Associates. DaJaS is a union of like-minded, passionate technocrats who in the past have benefited by their association with the stalwarts in the leather and footwear industry for 3 decades. We wanted to give back to the industry and society at large what was given to us in a platter. Hence, we are into management and workforce training with a goal to propagate operational excellence among the industry across section, vertical and horizontal. Today, we share our experience in the field of virtual marketplace, its advantages, particularly to the vendors who wish to connect with the buyers across the world without having to worry about the challenges this pandemic is imposing on us. For the last 2 years, even before the pandemic struck, we have been analyzing the potential of virtual marketplace in saving costs, creating a sustainable business model being current and relevant in the market and many others. Eventually, when the pandemic struck, we realized that this is the way forward for any industry to survive, particularly the leather and fashion industry. We're witnessing a complete, upheaval against we're witnessing a complete upheaval against established domains for business and marketing practices such as traveling, direct selling, face-to-face customer meeting, and solicitation of orders. This has been the order of the day. So long. These have been replaced by webinars, social distancing, virtual meetings, and web marketing, a formidable reality in which not only the expert is not an expert, but he doesn't know it. The digital forum affords the leather and fashion industry an exciting platform to reach out to existing potential customers with the same reliability and effectiveness as in the pre-pandemic times. Mr. Sridhar, who is our managing partner at DaJaS, will elaborate on the subject. Our attempt is to throw as much light as possible on the potential of virtual marketplace and its future in the industry. I hope this session will be very useful to all of you. We also have Mr. Jameel Azeez, who is a technical expert in this subject in our team, who will be more than happy to address any specific questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Damo. I'll take over now.
Yeah, Vishnu will moderate.
Let me just share the screen. Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for this excellent opportunity. Very good evening to all members, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to give a brief, should I say, an overview about the virtual marketplace that is available for the industry in this time. Like I was talking a few minutes earlier before we actually started, a couple of years ago, we wouldn't have imagined that we are sitting in front of a computer and talking to hundreds of people, each one in their own place, and feeling as if we are, sitting in all are sitting in one room. So this is something which has been pushed on us. Times are changing, and hence we are also changing ourselves. If we analyze and see what is actually pushing us to this change, we need to take a closer look of the current situation of the leather industry and the fashion industry. In order to understand that, first let us take the challenges that the current pandemic has imposed on us. The first thing is the communication. The communication has become totally different. What was normal communication in 2 years ago is no more normal. Every home has become an office. I'm sitting at in my home and doing everything. Zoom has become the tool. We don't take flights anymore. We just log into Zoom. Trade fairs almost forgotten. So the communication is completely changed, and that is the current situation. Number two, the biggest challenge we are facing as industry is wastage. To give you a brief idea, the global industry, fashion industry alone, is generating more than 13 million tons of waste every year. This includes fabrics and leather and other materials. So sustainability is the biggest challenge. On one end, sustainability is becoming very, very important. On the other end, we are going in the wrong direction. So wastage is a big challenge for the industry. Cost in general has gone up exponentially. We all know that, we all feel that, we experience it. And especially cost of marketing has multiplied. Cost of travel, cost of samples, trials, cost due to delays, everything has become exorbitant. And a major limiting factor is the cost to the business now. Of course, not to mention the hazards of travel. Like I say, the list goes on. I can write a few pages with a list of challenges that we have. But given that, we also know that once we are challenged, we also find solutions. When we look at most of these problems, the first thing that comes to our mind is, can virtual marketplace give us solutions? Because virtual marketplace has been in existence quite some time. Even before the pandemic, when we started looking at ways of reducing waste, we had virtual marketplace as an option. And we never knew that this is going to be the tool. This is going to be the in thing when the pandemic struck. So virtual marketplace gives solutions. So with this assumption, we'll try to understand what virtual marketplace is. Virtual marketplace is nothing other than a platform created online by by a third party for buyers and sellers to transact over a product or a service. That virtual platform matches potential buyers and sellers on the other end and let them transact online everything that they would like to transact or discuss, and then create a business online. That is virtual marketplace. When we talk about online marketplace, there are several types that we can see today. There are buyer-oriented marketplaces, seller-oriented, vertical and horizontal marketplaces, and we also have something called independent marketplaces. And today, what we are going to see in detail is about independent e-marketplaces or virtual marketplaces. And when we take a closer look at independent e-marketplace, it is nothing but a business-to-business online platform operated by a third party and is open to buyers and sellers from a particular industry. This is more important. There is a separate marketplace for logistics industry. There's a separate marketplace for fashion where leather is also included. Fashion industry where leather is also included. So likewise, industry-based marketplace gives much more benefit than general marketplaces, where we can register and get access to promotions. We can do quotations, we can place bids, we can discuss, we can send information, send images, and then transact our business. Participation in these online business, of course, we will have to go through a minimal payment of registration fee, and that is something which is unimaginable. For a small fee, the benefit that we get is absolutely amazing. Now, let us take a closer look at the leather and fashion industry. It is not the same as an engineering industry or any other industry, because as leather people, you all will agree. We always say, whenever there is a problem, yeah, leather is very special. It cannot be treated as synthetic or fabric. Leather behaves in its own way. So like that, the touch and feel of leather or even fabric is very, very important. Whereas if it is going to be iron or steel, we know iron is iron, steel is steel, but leather is not leather. Every leather is different, so the touch and feel becomes important. And then in a fashion industry, it is also very important how fit is the raw material to their own product. And that's a very special thing in the fashion industry. In any other industry, the raw material is not so critical, but in the fashion industry, it is very important. And in our industry, of course, we do business globally. It's very common, and hence we work across language borders. So this is very important, where the marketplace that is available has to take care of this. If language is an issue, then it doesn't serve. Of course, in a fashion industry, we have to focus on brands. This is driven by brand image. Last but not the least, global business at a local level. We know what we mean in this. Okay, taking one more step closer. A well-designed virtual marketplace platform allows companies to globalize business at a click of a button. It becomes an additional source of revenue. It is not an expense. It becomes an additional source of revenue. That is something which we have realized. It cuts down the average marketing cost. In those days, if we have to participate in a trade fair in Italy, we have to pack the samples, we have to buy the tickets, we have to book the trade fair costs, we have to go there, we have to physically be present, we have to spend hotels and food for 4 or 5 days. Goes on and on. This expense is exorbitant. Whereas when it becomes an online virtual platform, all these costs are removed. And sitting in your own office, clicks of buttons, you're able to send all your information to the buyers, and the buyers are able to reach you without having to spend anything, any time, any money. That is one thing. The next thing is it creates transparency in availability, stock levels, and prices. Some of the virtual platforms are really going into a depth of detail where once the transaction starts, the stock available in a tannery is visible to the buyer, sitting in Denmark or England or America. He can see if you're having a Navy Nubuck, and the information is so transparent that he says, okay, I can see that, this so-and-so tannery, this much stock is available, and hence, I can probably place an order. So that kind of a transparency is available in some of the virtual platforms, stock levels and prices. When you have information online in such a transparent manner, it is easy for the brands to actually compare and offer the benefit to the people who are actually less expensive or more efficient or better quality. When everything is transparent, the best is the winner. The most important thing, the biggest advantage, this virtual platform works for us 24/7. So my marketing, if I am present in a virtual platform, my marketing team works 24/7. It doesn't sleep. It's either working in America or working in Asia or working in Japan. It's working all the time. Now, that's a big advantage. And also, when we have so much of transparency between the buyer and the seller, the trust becomes very, very, strong. It increases visibility to the brands, like I already said. Okay, coming back to a little more technical. When I said touch and feel becomes very, very important. Whether it is a fabric or whether it is leather or any other material, digitalization of the image becomes very, very important. Today, with all this technology, we have excellent scanners. You can do 2D scanning, you can do 3D scanning, and you can actually give the buyer a real feeling as if, he's having the material just in front of him. So such scanners are available, and that makes a big difference. So that's the first starting point. We do the scanning, and then we share the images, the very, very high resolution images. We share it in our page, and that reaches the brands within no time. We have the image, and we have all the attributes given to it. We give it a name, we will give it a code number, we give it a description, whether it is the substance or sorry, or the field, we write into it, and then it reaches the brand. So it's easy to share the brand. We digitize it and share it to the brands. The next thing is the materials management. That is also very good in a well-designed virtual platform. I repeat, well-designed virtual platforms. All platforms are not the same, but there are virtual platforms which take care of the minute details, and that makes the difference. In a page where I present all my materials, what I can do is I can actually segregate them into different categories and give them a category name and place it on the page. For example, I can categorize them season-wise. So if somebody wants to look at your autumn-winter collection, they can click on autumn-winter collection, and all your leathers will be displayed. If you have a set of foil designs or foil leathers, you can put them together as foil leathers, and your customer will be able to see the foils in your collection. Similarly, you can do everything. It's up to your imagination. You can actually play around excellent, and make it so easy for the brand to make a choice. Standardized data model. This is also very important and very useful in a virtual platform. When you actually work across the globe and you have several companies looking at your material, and when you have the English have their own way of looking at it. The Americans have their own way. The Japanese have a very different way. But when you have to deal with all the countries and all the different cultures and all the different knowledge, standardization becomes a very, very important thing. So some of these virtual platforms have excellent standardization of data to describe the attributes, so that, you know, if you say Excel or large, or, you know, unless you know that it is up to a standard, then it is very difficult to make a choice. Even, for example, when we buy shoes, the sizing is very critical. Like that, all the attributes given to the material needs to be standardized, and the buyer should be able to easily pick what he wants. So standardization is a very important thing. The other aspect of certain virtual platforms that I have seen, the image that we place on a platform, whether it is a leather or a fabric, the same image can be actually transferred into their CAD system, and they can actually superimpose the color and texture onto their product and see how it looks, how it results in their product, whether it is a shoe or a bag or a garment. You know how that leather will look like on a piece of garment. You know, they will be able to pick this image, transfer it to their CAD system, and then they'll be able to visualize it. Even before they make a decision of, you know, placing a sample order with you, they can see, yeah, this is going to work. So that's a bigger advantage. Of course, direct communication with brand. When we are on this platform, we have a direct link. We avoid all middlemen. So that's a big advantage. Using this virtual platform efficiently, you can actually tell a fantastic story about your material. That makes it more interesting for your brands. You can share your marketing assets. You can send them promotional videos. You can send them brochures. You can send them material assets, in the sense pictures of your materials, etc. You can send them documents about your test report or your whatever certificates you have on your thing. And then, of course, images and visuals. The other advantage on our virtual platform marketplace is when somebody visits your page and sees that you're there, you have a statistics available, and you can actually track your own performance. You can see, okay, last week about 20 brands have visited my page, and you can actually say, okay, among my materials, one particular material, whether it's a nubuck or a pull-up, whatever, it seems to attract a lot of visitors. So you have that statistics available for you, and then you can actually fine-tune your performance based on how the market is moving. This can actually be converted into result by careful manipulation and careful addition of interesting materials. If somebody is if you see that some customers are actually getting more interest in your one type of material, then you could offer them a lot of options in the same type, maybe different colors, maybe different textures or shine levels, etc. And this will help you improve your performance. So customer data on real time is a big advantage. Of course, before even I started, or before even coming into this webinar, most of you would have had this question in your mind: if I send my images into a third-party website, will it be secure? Well, yes, it has to be secure, and that is the first thing you should check whenever you are looking at a virtual online platform. There are features available in most virtual platforms that they make sure that your data is absolutely confidential. And if you are a seller, you cannot log in as a buyer. If you are a buyer, you cannot log in as a seller, which means one tannery will not be able to access another tannery's data. And only brands who are verified, they can actually access the tannery's data. So this is one security we have seen in most of the high-end virtual platforms, and this is available. And the other thing is, you actually decide, even though you are confident that only brands are going to see this. For example, if I don't want XYZ brand to see my product because this I have designed for ABC brands, you can actually decide when you place your images on the page, you can actually specify who can see your images. So that is something which is available in some of the virtual platforms, and that I think we all should insist when we look at it. There are umpteen benefits which I don't want to spend too much time. But basically, if you actually study the benefits of the virtual platform, sustainability is a very big thing, and that has to be promoted. That's a global demand right now, and this exposes us to so much of opportunities, and if we exploit it, it will really be dramatic improvement in our business performance. And of course, cost reduction is something which I don't have to even say. You can imagine how much of cost this kind of system will save. So basically, it's very easy. Go into a virtual platform and do business. We digitize our materials, upload the data, share it with the brands, and then everything follows. So it's as simple as that. I have spoken a lot about the benefits, so I'm not going to repeat. So I'll skip these things. Let me move on. Okay. In a nutshell, the time to market is minuscule compared to the old way of physical marketing. The return on investment is multiple times more than the marketing cost that we used to spend 2 years ago. The time cost of ownership is absolutely wonderful because it's a very lean system, and B2B, we save so much, and it's practically out of the box. So in a nutshell, this is what I can share. Thank you all for your attention. If you have any questions now, we will be more than willing to reply to you within the given time. If we are unable to answer some questions, of course, you can contact us via email. You can get the email from Mr. Nachiyappan and Swarna. So that's all. Over to you, Swarna. You can. Vishnathan.
Thank you, Mr. Sridharan, for an excellent introduction and explanation about this virtual marketplace. Participants, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, and then I will unmute you. You can proceed with your comment or question. Okay, until our participants are getting ready, I have one small queries on this. Is this marketplace, is it in the virtual marketplace? I mean, is it in their laptops or mobiles, or how the customers can access this information? Mr. Sridharan.
Jameel, can you reply? Or
yeah, I'll do that, sir. See, basically, this is not an app. This is basically a cloud platform. So you have your login credentials. Once you register on it, you get in your login credentials, which you have to go on a browser and log in. So it can be done through a mobile. It can be done through your laptop, as you wish, wherever browsers are accessible.
Is it possible to share any screenshots or the live platform in this, if it is possible? I don't know.
Whatever these slides Mr. Sridhar had shared, sir, it is one of the I think platforms what we have reviewed and have been working with.
Okay.
I have added screenshots of one, but the one particular platform that is available in India.
Mhm.
So there are several screenshots that I have added.
Okay.
So if somebody wants some more information, we can send it to them.
Because we have worked out on quite a lot of number of virtual platforms, we thought this was one of the best. So we picked everything based on this, based on their layout.
So apart from the images, does it also have some video presentations in the
Yes.
In the platform?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
can send you some links. It has got videos also.
Yes.
Okay.
We actually could have done a live demo,
Yeah.
but then since it would have become a sort of a promotion for a particular brand, we didn't want to do it.
Okay.
It was basically not allowed for us.
Okay.
Well, I thought that is the basis. Yes. When the teacher completes her class in the school and asks whether anybody has any doubts, and the students are very silent, there can be two reasons. One is everybody has understood everything and very clear. The other one is they don't understand anything and it is very difficult to get a doubt.
Okay.
I don't know what today we are facing. But anyway, there is no hurry. Even if it may take a while for you to analyze everything and understand and then start asking questions. So it may take a day even. So anytime, even if not now, even if you get some questions after looking at some details or trying out something, you're always welcome to come to us. We will be more than willing to help.
Actually, what we would recommend the participants as well is after this webinar, rather to find a good time right away from after this webinar, probably they can go into the websites or probably look into the YouTube links, because that gets a good connectivity soon after the webinar. If they try to explore certain platforms like this, they could immediately understand it and also try to raise some questions as quickly as possible.
Okay, we have one participant, Mr. Jayaraman Ramanathan. He's waiting for some comment or question. Mr. Jayaraman, you can unmute and then start your comment. You need to do once more.
Hello, should I come in?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, I would like to know. So when we post our details into the cloud platform, how far it is safe, the payment gateway or our designs or whatever, our data. Can anybody download it?
No.
Can anybody pull out those details by downloading them, or it is protected there? Because we are all thumb impressions as far as IT is concerned. So you have to guide us for that.
Yeah, so whenever there is a cloud platform, I would try to be very careful, because the cloud platform, you won't even know like where it is stored, which part of the globe, who's using it and all these things. But be rest assured, we have done quite a lot of research to get, because this is a confidential platform and whoever we have been working with are very reputed people who have taken care of this issue. Of course, I cannot say or guarantee on a cloud platform it is 100, because always this has been a question which has come down to me whenever we have put it down. We have promoted this virtual platform. There's no guarantee. Nobody can guarantee for a cloud thing. But the amount, what I can guarantee you is, comparatively with these similar platforms that is there, which is existing, this has been taken care with one of the best resources in securities.
One thing we can assure, one thing we can, I'll add just one point. One thing we can assure in a good, well-designed platform is that at least your leather swatches, images cannot be downloaded or viewed by a competitor.
Yeah.
That much is ensured for sure. All that people view are the buyers. So that some companies, they actually do rigorous verification before actually giving a license to you. For example, if you want to become a licensee and you want to become a member of that platform, they do a lot of verification, and it is not, this license is not given very easily. And that is the most important thing. If you find a platform which is easily available, then of course, you know that the security is not very good. And if you have a platform where it is very difficult, you apply and then they do a lot of verification, they take a couple of weeks or even like a week to get your license cleared, then you know that, yeah, okay, you're safe. It's like if there is a lot of check in the airport, we know that the flight is safe. So like that.
Yeah. For example, in one of some of very particularly one platform was very impressive for me, which without your VAT or GST number, you cannot get it registered, because VAT and GSTs cannot be copied. That's a scrutinization that happens.
Yeah.
I hope we answered your question, sir.
Mr. Jayaraman?
Yeah, Mr. Jayaraman is muted.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm on. So I just wanted to know, because not the client can download my data. Maybe he'll circulate it. How do I know about it?
It's not possible.
Not possible.
No.
It is fully secured.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jayaraman. We also
Yeah, thank you.
we had a few comments from the platform when they registered. One of that, is it also allowed for the B2C, or is it only for B2B?
No, only B2B.
This is for B2B. Okay. Okay. We also had another question by Mr. Dhanachekar, Eurofied India. How do you increase your sales of the finished product in this pandemic situation? That's one of the questions.
See, when we talk about increasing sales, the first thing we need to do is increase our reach. The more number of buyers we reach, the probability of hitting a sale is higher. So that's where we have to start with. Of course, there is one underlying factor which is not new, but it is age old. The speciality of our product, the quality of our product will obviously make sure that our sales is high. But having that as agreed or given, the reach is the most important thing. So how far or how many buyers we reach on the platform is the most important thing. Secondly, if somebody is searching for something, for my company or my product to reach him first, because there will be a long list of Newburgh leather supplied by hundreds of tanneries. So if somebody is searching for a Newburgh leather, for us to become a top, come in the top 10, there are a few things that we need to do. The more information we add about our material, the more likely that our material comes on top. The more images that we add on our page, the more likely that our company's name or the material's name comes on top. So the more interaction we have, we work with it on a daily basis. Every day I log in to the page, I add a swatch or I add an attribute. And then the more frequently we are online, the more likely that our material comes on the top 10 list of the buyer who is searching. So these are some small things which is not any different to any other global any other website search or anything. So it's all, this is also the same. This works very well. So that's one way of improving the sales, which means improving the contacts. You want to add anything, Jameel, on this?
No, sir. This is more relevant for materials. Only for, I would like to add only if the question was relevant to finished goods.
How to improve the sales of finished goods?
Finished product.
Finished product. Actually, in this virtual platform, we are not discussing finished
About
goods
finished product.
because it is this whole market is between a raw material supplier and a finished good manufacturer.
Yeah.
So for improving the sales of the finished goods, we probably have to look at options of B2C.
Yeah.
Where B2C business platforms that is also available. And the same would apply there also.
Sure.
Same logic would apply there also.
Sure. I hope we answered your question, sir.
Yeah, I think it should be okay because it came in the registration mode.
Okay.
Thanks. So if there is no other question, I have one more question, if it is possible.
Go ahead.
My side. Okay, you mentioned it is a 24/7 platform, and then in the virtual marketplace, what? Okay, I'm sorry. Primarily, my question might be related to B2C, because what happens when it works for 24/7, there will be some private time for the customers or for the manufacturers. So how this will be solved in that?
When we say 24/7, the platform is working 24/7. We never close the doors. For example, somebody from USA, when they are working, they are looking at leathers available over the globe. It is night time in Japan or New Zealand. When America goes to sleep, New Zealand wakes up and they start working on the platform, which means this platform is continuously working somewhere or other in the globe. And our page is live 12 hours to the Americans, 12 hours to the Japanese, and 12 hours to the New Zealanders and Chinese and American English and Europe. So my page is always being looked at by somebody, which is what we mean that it doesn't stop, it works 24/7. Whereas if we have to physically do the marketing, we can work for 10 hours, but during that 10 hours, we will either cater to the Americans or to the Japanese. So that's why I said this doesn't stop. Have I made it clear?
Yeah. It was clear. So it doesn't mean that both the seller and the buyer need to be logged in at the same time. It can be even different time zones. They can work.
Yes, not necessary, because somebody in England logs in at 5 o'clock evening his time. We are out of office, but he looks at our page. He likes something, then he can click on it. His presence is marked by the data. He says the platform will record that company representative has looked at our swatch book or swatch, and then he can actually send a message to us. Look, I am interested in this product. Can you please let me know? And then when you wake up in the morning, he has gone to sleep, and then I see that, okay, he has visited my virtual showroom, and he has looked at this swatch, this color he likes. So then I can send him information, more information. He might probably ask more information. Is this suitable for this product or whatever? So I can keep communicating. So this keeps working continuously.
In fact, there is one input I would like to give from my side, sir. Am I okay?
Yeah,
as long
please.
as I'm not interrupting the Q&A session. This is just an information
Yeah, please.
which I probably is going to come out in the future, which the platforms are working with. See, basically, these are all like whatever the manufacturers are producing or developing is where the current platform works on. These platforms are also thinking about putting on stock materials. See, basically, during the pandemic, there has been quite a lot of stocks that have been held up either with the supplier, the manufacturer, or anywhere, where they're also planning to bring in within this platform of all these stocks in a similar formula. There's not going to be any change in the formula. It will be marked as a stock. So basically, when these materials come down, I think because in today's world, a stock is just a scrap price. But when this opportunity comes down, you get a better value for your stock, which has been held up. This is also there in the progress, which is happening. This is one sort of information which I think we really missed. I just wanted to add for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jameel, and thank you, Mr. Sridharan. Thanks for your patience in answering the questions from my side and also the participants sent by while registering. So I now invite Mr. Mishra to provide the concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishwanathan. Very good evening to all the participants. In a bid to summarize the excellent presentation by Messrs. DaJaS Associates, let me start with a quote from Jonathan Scatic, nuclear scientist. Necessity is the mother of invention, it is true, but its father is creativity, and the knowledge is the midwife. The ongoing COVID-19 crisis has accelerated the use of digital platforms, and the opportunities and paradigm shifts that have emerged will persevere post-pandemic. Mr. Sridharan Ganapathy, Mr. Damodaran, and Mr. Jameel Azeez have taken a deep dive into the structure of online marketplaces for fashion. Open marketplaces have become the growth engines and give you the opportunity to sell all the products you want, depending on your selection. Mr. Sridharan started the presentation with the current fashion industry problems relating to communication, material management, sustainability, travels, and wastes, followed by comprehensive discussions on the amicable solution. Open marketplaces are open for any product without restrictions or pre-selection. This means that anyone can sell anything on this type of marketplace with no entry barriers in place. With no entry barriers in place, you can enter the market and start selling immediately on such open marketplaces for fashion. Mr. Sridharan maintained a special focus on the leather and the fashion industry and explained how it allowed companies to globalize business. Visibility to brands increases by highlighting various information, including sustainability accreditations. There is a scope to deploy state-of-the-art videography, 3D digital technology, and turnable photography to scan and showcase the products. Materials can be well organized by collections, theme, innovation, purpose, etc. Bespoke collection books can be presented to the prospects. In leather industry, we value the touch, feel, and handle a lot. The same can be replaced by the standard data model and presented very accurately to the brands. One cannot only communicate with the brand directly, but can also communicate with multiple brands within the message center. Our speakers have further elaborated how you can create stories for your products with the help of images, visuals, and promotional videos. Mind it, they really help a lot in establishing an impressive brand image. You get real-time customer data for your own analysis and introspection. You are in total control of your product security and apply settings at your own will. Our speakers have further taken up the points how you get opportunities by becoming more visible and discoverable, minimize distances, reduce costs, increase the flexibility in time management, and eventually enhance sustainability. The 1, 2, 3 business model as put forward by our speakers is really very interesting. It's DUS, digitalize, upload, and share. As simple as that. In the concluding part of the presentation, they have beautifully detailed the business benefits for buyers and sellers for having a virtual marketplace. Hope the presentation as well as Q&A session have been advantageous for you all. Technology in the 2020s is exponentially more powerful than the technology we had at our fingertips in 2000s or even 2010s. Companies communicate, engage, and interact with customers in new ways. At the same time, consumption is changing because consumers are looking for purpose and sustainability. A company's mission is becoming more important than ever. And because the next normal is here to stay, fashion companies must be ready to embrace innovation. Lots of thanks to you all. Over to Mr. Nachiyappan.
Thank you, Mr. Azeez. So we have some announcement regarding this. As Mr. Sridharan has told, you are free to ask questions. You can send questions to us. Also, if possible, Mr. Sridharan or Damodaran and Jameel, you can put down your email ID in the chat so that people can take it up. And you can also write to iSquare from where you have registered so that we can talk to our presenters and get back to you, or we can connect you to them. And to know more about on this webinar, you can very well log into isquare.org.in or you can join our Talk Only Leather group in Telegram or WhatsApp. Also, we have book pages in LinkedIn, Facebook, and this thing. And all these webinars are listed in isquare.org/isquare.org/ISLW. You can put the number. Now this is 29. So if you put the number 29, you will get this details of this webinar, the video of this webinar, and a write-up on this webinar, and contact details of the speaker. So, one moment. So thank you, Mr. Sridharan, Damodaran sir, and Mr. Jameel for your wonderful time. And we thank all the participants. There are over 60 registrants today. Probably maybe due to Saturday afternoon itself. If you are keeping on Sunday, maybe more people may come in. And there are around 28 people. Thank you all for your presence here and making it a good success. Thank you.
Thank you all for team, and thank you everyone. Thanks for participants.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye. Namaskar.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.